Hi everybody. This is Halloween 2020. I've got a story to tell that I've just haven't been able to talk about it until now. And I wanted to tell it to you all this Halloween. Some of you are familiar with Amityville, New York, and the Amityville Horror, and that whole situation that went down a few decades ago. It's scary just thinking about it, but back when I was in my 20s, I was traveling to Long Island, New York, quite a bit. And I wound up staying real close to Amityville, New York, right where all those murders went down and all the strange things happened in that Amityville house. And I was working up that way several times, and I wanted to go to Amityville and just check it out. And after seeing the movie and hearing about it in the newspapers and everything, so on one of my business trips, I decided to check it out. And it just so happens that I wound up staying at a bed and breakfast inn. And oh my gosh, so when I went to check in the bed and breakfast, it was an old house there in Long Island, New York, around Hicksville, New York, not far from Amityville. And so when I went in to check in, everything was fine, and I went up the old creaky stairs, just like you would imagine in an old bed and breakfast home, and went down the corridor or down the hall there to my room. And I think my room was number 7 or something like that. But as I went down the hall, I noticed there was one room that didn't have any numbers on it. It didn't have a number or anything. Now this was an old house, creaky old house, kind of the winter time. It was cold, kind of snowy out, and it had a keyhole. All the rooms had an old-fashioned key, like your grandma's house or something like that. And so the next morning when I went down for breakfast at the bed and breakfast inn, I asked the innkeeper or the proprietor, the owner, I said, what about that room? You know, there's rooms up there with numbers on them, 1 through 13 or 14, I think, but there's one particular room where the number is skipped. I could tell a change of expression went over their face, and they didn't want to talk about that room. And so I kind of let it go, went to work that day, came back the next day, and I couldn't stand it anymore, you know. And so that night, I thought I saw a light in there. And just me, you know, being me, I tried the door was locked. So what did I do? I looked through the keyhole, and on a white bed and on a white sheet, there was a lady in there. She appeared to be alive, asleep or something like that, but she was molded into the bed or something. I can't explain it. It was almost like I couldn't tell where the sheet started and the lady started. It didn't appear like she maybe had any clothes on, but it was just solid white. And I was like, is that a ghost? You know, there's no such thing as ghosts. But anyway, I was kind of spooked, and so I went to my room Next morning, got up, same thing, went to my bed and breakfast. I asked the proprietor there again, I said, what about that empty room? Or what about that room with no number on it? What is going on with that room? Again, I got blank stares and no one wanted to tell me anything about that room. So that night when I got back from work again, there on Long Island, not far from Amityville, and talking to some of the local residents about Amityville, and people who knew the residents over there, I was just trying to think, is there some correlation or not? I don't know. So that night, again, I thought I saw maybe a light or something in that room. So I got my eyeball down and I looked through the keyhole again, and it was just fire red. It was just red, red, red. And I looked and it kind of spooked me, and I was like, red, oh my gosh. And it was just right there. I jumped back and I went running to my room, locked the door, and it's like, you know, chill bumps and the whole 9 yards. And whew, I was like, so the next morning, I get up for the morning coffee and all that, and I get up real early this time before anyone else is down there from the bread and breakfast, and I said, you have got to tell me. I said, this is killing me up there. You're killing me up there. You have got to tell me what happened in that room. And they said, okay. Similar to what happened at Amityville, there's this albino lady. She had white hair, white eyebrows, white skin, solid white. Everything was white about her, her whole body, except one thing. Her eyeballs are fire red.